Arthur Brooks, in his column 11 Ancient Solutions for Modern Malaise, explores the timeless wisdom of the Roman philosopher Seneca, particularly his essay on a happy life. Brooks emphasizes that Seneca, despite a life marked by severe health issues, exile, and a forced suicide, was a happiness expert focused on eudaemonia, which he interprets as inner peace. Seneca's advice, written during his challenging final years, is presented as highly pertinent for modern well-being, and Brooks frequently supports these ancient maxims with contemporary research. Here are the key lessons from Seneca, as presented and elaborated upon by Arthur Brooks, with a focus on the modern research cited. 1. Emotional equanimity. Seneca advises maintaining an even countenance, whether facing death or a comedy, not by suppressing emotions, but by managing emotional extremes to prevent them from controlling you. Brooks highlights research from 2020 showing that equanimity predicted lower negative states such as rumination, catastrophizing, and neuroticism. 2. Physical and intellectual fitness. Seneca's counsel to support body strength with mind strength is interpreted by Brooks as a call for both physical and intellectual fitness, which are central to a happy life. He points to modern research indicating that 2 lifelong habits of happy and well older people are continuous learning and healthy exercise. Brooks suggests reading and walking daily as simple yet effective practices. 3. Detachment from riches. Seneca's lesson to despise riches whether one has them or not, and to be indifferent to fortune's comings and goings, goes deeper than money doesn't buy happiness. Brooks explains that attachment to riches brings misery, a point strongly supported by research. For instance, studies have shown that materialism can lower well-being and raise depression. 4. Stewardship and universal belonging. This lesson expands on the idea of detachment by asserting that misery stems not just from grasping, but also from holding what one has too tightly. Brooks notes its resonance with many traditions, likening it to the Catholic concept of solidarity, where property ownership is viewed as stewardship for the greater good of all. 5. Service to others. Seneca's exhortation to live remembering one was born for others is presented by Brooks as the idea that charity is a gift to the giver. Service to others is highlighted as one of the easiest ways to increase happiness. Volumes of research, Brooks explains, confirm that acts like giving to charity, volunteering, spending money on others, and even donating blood or organs all raise well-being. 6. Moderation in all things. The advice to neither hoard greedily nor squander recklessly is a version of all things in moderation. Brooks stresses that Seneca's view is that moderation leads to inner peace, not just moral superiority. He states that research supports this claim, even extending to the idea that virtues, like hard work, should be practiced in moderation to prevent them from becoming detrimental, e.g., workaholism. 7. Value by benefit to receiver. The core idea here is that the true value of one's actions is not their cost to the giver, but how much they benefit the receiver. Brooks illustrates this by stating that the true value of one's work is how much it helps others, rather than one's salary. He suggests that taking this lesson to heart can change priorities and potentially lead to a better job. 8. Integrity and authenticity. Seneca's 2-part lesson to act based on conscience rather than public opinion, and to act alone as if the Roman people are watching, is interpreted by Brooks as the need to resist social comparison and to maintain integrity and consistency between private and public actions. Brooks points out that social comparison, especially on social media, is a major factor in negative well-being. He adds that hypocrisy leads to unhappiness, as research shows that the self-perception of disingenuousness harms our need for authenticity and coherence. 9. Love and forgiveness. The teaching to be agreeable with friends and gentle with foes, granting pardon readily, aligns with the biblical love your enemies. Brooks highlights that this philosophy seeks to disrupt the tendency to hate foes. He quotes Martin Luther King Jr. on the redemptive power of love and mentions his own research demonstrating that loving across differences is not only practical but a source of immense joy. 10. Moral accountability. This lesson intensifies the previous one by advising one to act not just as if others are watching, but as if God is watching. Brooks cites a study where priming individuals, both believers and non-believers, with concepts related to God or secular moral institutions, like civic, or jury, more than double generosity compared to when such concepts were not introduced. This induced generosity, Brooks notes, benefits the giver as well, reinforcing Lesson 5. 11. Peaceful acceptance of death. Seneca's final lesson exhorts us to consider the good of others as a way to accept our own death peacefully. Brooks references a 2014 study of dying cancer patients, which found that peaceful patients were other-person-centered, seeing opportunities to give to others even in their illness. Seneca himself reportedly faced his forced death with complete equanimity. Brooks concludes by acknowledging that these lessons are challenging because they often go against natural human impulses. However, Seneca offered a secret formula. Try. The goal is not perfect embodiment, but rather continuous effort and progress. True peace of mind, Brooks emphasizes, is achieved by trying a little each day.